Hey Calvin, how are ya? So, in response to your question about is it hoarding to get a lot of digital video games, I don't think it's necessarily hoarding, because hoarding really has detrimental physical consequences. When you think about somebody who's hoarding stuff, you think of a house that's filled to the brim and sagging at the beams, and you can't get to the corners to clean, and you're just compulsively taking and holding things in. To me, there's this weird little write-off I can do with digital games where all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, it's digital. Ha ha ha. It's not hoarding it. It's just having a massive library. Would you consider a library a place where they hoard books? Well, I guess kind of, but it doesn't have a negative connotation. Hoarding always has a negative connotation. To me, since there really, aside from the monetary side of things, there really is no negative connotation. It's not hoarding to have a massive game library. Steam also did just implement a refund for basically any reason rule, which means that if you were to buy an individual game, I'm pretty sure this would exclude bundle purchased games, but if you were to buy a game and then play it for less than 2 hours, you would get a refund for that game for basically whatever reason. It's got to be played for less than 2 hours. Look at almost any reason that you want to get your money back, and apparently it works. It's going to work very well. So it's pretty exciting stuff. You threw the gauntlet down by throwing up a video of your Steam library. So I'm going to throw up a video of my Steam library. So as I talk right now, my Steam library will scroll by the screen with a quick Steam library shuffle. So your list of developers that we've lost really got me thinking. And you named most of the ones that I would name too, but I'm also going to have a few naturally of my own. I admit that I Wikipedia searched, and I Wikipedia'd, and I've looked up a list of defunct developers, and I found a pretty good list. And on that list, of note to me personally, are it's actually a decently sizable list: EA Chicago, THQ, Acclaim, Atari, Bizarre Creations, Data East, Enix, Grin, Hudson Soft, Looking Glass Studios, Ion Storm, Neversoft, Red Octane, Sega AM3, also known as Hitmaker, Westwood Studios, Whoopee Camp, and Zipper Interactive. And those are the ones that I really give a shit about. None of them were on your list, and so I wanted to throw them on there too. Grin maybe wasn't quite so well known. They're the guys who did the Bionic Commando remakes. Red Octane, though, they were the guys who made the first Guitar Hero, and so that's such an interesting set there. Hitmaker made Virtual On. Bizarre Creations, that's the guys who originally did Blur, The Club, and one of the other games was Geometry Wars, the first two. And Acclaim, oh man, you can get into Acclaim's impact on the world of video games. So there's been a lot of companies that have unfortunately gone the way of the dodo that we're never going to get to see again. Props for Clover, dude. You know, everybody, we've got to make sure everybody knows about Clover. Clover's impact on me personally is just crazy. I've got something I want to discuss with you. I've got something I want to throw your direction. The statement, "It's okay when Nintendo does it." Is that necessarily true? So, I got the new 3DS. So, I didn't own the Game Boy Micro or the Virtual Boy or anything like sort of really off the beaten path, but I've been pretty diligent in terms of getting and playing the DS line. They are the undisputed kings of the handheld console market. Absolutely. Sony, they would consider the Vita probably nowhere near the success of the DS, obviously. The Nintendo DS itself, the DS Lite, was one of the best-selling video game systems of all time. So, the yearly updates, it's something that I understand is just kind of the Nintendo way. We've come to understand it. So, in terms of, is it okay when Nintendo does it? I think that statement holds true. For the handhelds, yes. But here we started getting into some murky territory. Nintendo was starting to do paid DLC in their titles, and for the first time, they've had paid DLC in a video game. Mario Kart 8 has been a weird sort of platform for their new model of economics. They've had, for the first time, sponsored DLC in the form of the Mercedes-Benz cars that were in the game, the JLA sponsorship. They also have done paid DLC, so you can pay to download maps and put them into your game. It's one of the first times Nintendo has sort of done that thing, and now they're sort of breaking down the barrier that we previously thought was there. Nintendo will never do that sort of thing. No, never. No, they'll always put everything into the game. When you get it, you won't expect content to be withheld. But no, when you pop in Mario Kart 8 and you haven't bought those levels, they sit there on the level select screen for you to buy. They're going through the exact same style of marketing that any other company would do with their paid DLC. They put it right there in the game when you're not paying for it, encouraging you to buy it. So those other things that they've been doing is requiring the purchase of other things in order to get the full experience of a game. So we sort of scoff at games and go, oh, well, if you pre-order the game at Target or at Best Buy or so-and-so, then you get custom DLC. Well, the amiibo set for Splatoon gives you unique items based on which character you have. So as long as you can get all three, you get a unique set of items. I don't know if they're levels or something specific, but there's unique content in Splatoon you can only get and play if you have the Splatoon amiibos. So how do you get the Splatoon amiibos? Oh, you just buy them. It's easy. Oh my goodness. Try Googling for Splatoon amiibos. Go to Amazon.com, see if you can pick up some Splatoon amiibos and tell me how much you can get them for. They're currently going for about $60 on Amazon. They're almost the price of the game itself to get 3 pieces of DLC that would otherwise make the game a complete package. So Nintendo is starting to dip into the pockets of the, oh, let's make some money off the figures market, and it's clear that games like Skylanders and games like the Lego Dimensions are going to make a lot of money. Skylanders already has. Skylanders paved the way for that. Disney Infinity jumped right on and proved that there's room for 2. So now is there room for 3, 4? Is there room for 5? Is Nintendo going to really make a lot of money off these amiibos? They've already made a ton of impact on the black market, the literal black market of figure reselling, in terms of the rarity of the early figures. A Google search for amiibo prices is really disheartening at some point. I just like a little figure that works with my character, with my video game, excuse me. I just like having a little figure that works with my video game. So why can't I have that without having to pay $50 for that character? Nintendo needs to produce more of these figures, man. So that's my thought for this week, man. Nintendo is really starting to do some creepy stuff with the ways they're trying to make some money. They're starting to dip into the practices that we always hoped they never would start dipping into. And, I don't know. I guess time will tell if they'll sort of stay true to themselves, or we'll start to see other companies start to suddenly say, hey, we're not going to be like that. Like CD Projekt, who is releasing 16 pieces of content for The Witcher 3 free over the course of The Witcher 3's time. Albeit they're having you pay for the season pass now for content that's coming out in November, but still, I can forgive them for that. Can't we all? All right, Calvin. Have a good night. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.